Hi there, and welcome to my basement building guide for Going Medieval. I'm Icon, and this video will guide you through all you need to know to build a proper basement for your settlement. You will need the basements for storing stuff underground, because in the summertime the temperatures will rise too high and you will have problems with storing your food, and underground areas are just way to go. I'm going to show you two methods how to do underground cellars, and one of these should be always applicable in your situation. So method one is the Lazier method. As you see here, my people are living near a natural crag. You can use these natural crags like this. This is a wonderful opportunity to create cellars cheap and without too much work. Just keep in mind that your cellar needs to be 2 stories deep, like this is 1 story and this is the 2nd story. Otherwise the trick won't work. Also make sure that every area here is accessible with some staircases like that. In this scenario we're not able to reach this area down here, so we'll have to put a staircase down there. So we're going to do that. Let's put it down here. And let's assign the mining jobs. We'll just mine here in this scenario down here. And as you see here while we're turning the camera, this is exactly 1 story below our floor here. To continue the job, we now hold down the control key and use the mouse wheel to lower the layers here until we are finally at the layer of our job here. So now we need to adjust to the layer where we are at, which would be this one. See, the green cursor thingy must be basically on top of your already assigned blocks. And this way we will create a nice underground chamber, which will be sitting down there and will be ready for picking up our stuff. As soon as these chambers are done, it's quite important that you construct some wooden beams as well for them to stabilize the room a little bit. Otherwise you might be risking cave-ins. The other and way more work-intense method of building basements would be to do basically the same outside here. In this scenario, we're going to build it here. You just have to dig out the cluster here. Let's do all the jobs towards mining. And we're going to let our dudes finish this job real quick. Okay, our fine people here have finally finished that little pit here. So this pit here will be our cellar to be. So we're going to put down wooden beams down here first, because obvious reasons. In a sec we're going to put them down over here and there. Let's see, we need more than that? Obviously not. And then we're going to apply a staircase here. Make sure that the staircase can be entered from all sides properly. And then the next thing we're going to do is place down a flooring on top of that. Sometimes it's a little bit hard to get that. Maybe it doesn't work right now because I'm pretty sure it doesn't work because the beams aren't constructed yet. So I'm going to see you in a sec about this. Now, after we have placed down the staircase, we can now place on top of this the flooring. Keep in mind that you need to hit actually the top floor here, otherwise it won't really work. And we want to create a flooring which gives us the ability to still go downstairs here. Now we go back into the zoning tool and lay down floorings all over the place here as well, because that's pretty important to make your downstairs storage worth something. Because without floorings, your downstairs storage will rot, items stored downstairs will rot, and therefore this will be not a good way to store your food downstairs. So autosave trolled me here, kind of like. Let's do this stockpile thingy, And once that's all being built, we have now a working underground cellar. You can also just put down wooden walls around all this and build a nice little building around this. So this is also the ways and means to actually construct yourself a completely cellared building. So you can use that as well. Now we're going to put down a door here, and last but not least, we'll have to wait until all this is constructed. See you guys in a sec. Now, our friends have finally finished constructing this room. So let's get downstairs and take a look at what we did here. So down here, we now have a temperature of 8.2 degrees Celsius. You can check this out here. It's now cooler down here than outside. And we have items stored here. You can see here, this is still counted as an outside room because it's not locked off. And it still has the outside temperature. So if you want to finish things like these, it's really important that you put a door in between. So let's try that. Build a door. There we go. To seal off your storage areas for good. That's really important. There we go. Let's send one of our people to this here. Well, why doesn't that work? I guess because we don't have the necessary resources. But long story short, these are two methods how you can bring up your basements for your colonies. You can decide if you want to do it here like that. This is the more sophisticated version I have used here. This is a roofed building now. Let's do this. And it features its own cellar. Really useful for the long run, but pretty hard to pull off in the beginning of the game because it takes some time to build it. I really like to go for these convenient little bunker structures like these whenever I have some mountainous areas to use for my for myself here. To construct resource unavailable to deliver. Because we're out of wood, just like I thought. I personally can prefer these thingies here because I feel like they are a lot easier to set up when you're new to the game and when you're not really able to build larger structures. I really like that one a lot because it makes it a lot easier for you to build a storage area just like that. I just noticed that we have here a hole in the ground. If that happens, you can do the same thing as we did before. We can't just put a bit of flooring above that, but it can be a tad bit of a pain. And if that ever happens, you can also just pull it over here. Can't place building this far from a stable structure. Okay. So I guess we'll have to put a wooden beam on top of that to make that work, to get that hole gone. So as you see, there are small finicky things in the game, and whenever you can't close a hole like that, usually your people need to put a beam on top of that, because the beams are necessary to hold floorboards. But yeah, usually you don't have holes in the ground like that. Okay, so you can go either this way or that way if you want to have your underground cellar. It's up to you how you want to put it. And I hope that was helpful for you to find out what you want to do. Buildings can't be reached. Okay. This is going to be a little bit odd. Just make sure that you don't dig your cellar where there's a hole above. Obviously, that's the problem here. Okay, so feel free to leave me a comment down below if you have anything on your mind. I'd be more than happy to hear from you. And also leave a thumbs up on that video if it was somehow helpful for you. I'd be really appreciating. And last but not least, if you liked this video, check out my channel. There's a lot of similar content there. Leave a subscription, turn on notifications, and you won't miss anything in the future. Also in the description below, you'll find my Twitch channel where I do daily streams, and there's also links and ways and means to give some tips or other financial support for my video project, because my content will be always free, but sadly my life is not for free. Enough of that. Thanks for watching. This is the biggest support of them all, and have fun. See you soon. Bye bye.